Alright, welcome back to Let's Play Victoria 2. And let's take a look around the world real quick, because, well, stuff's happened since last time. I'm not sure what's happened in China. I think, the Zhao may have lost a couple of provinces. Yeah, it looks like that. Or at least one chunk of a province. One province of a state, maybe. Otherwise, everything looks the same. I guess I never showed off North or South America. It looks, for the most part, it looks the same. I mean, Brazil is still big. Peru's, basically the weird conglomerate that's there at the beginning. Most of that. I mean, these are what used to be Dutch nations, and Colombia was Spain's, and Paraguay I think was York's. Then we have Flanders colonies down here, which they still have, but looks like they're at war with Argentina, and Colombia, and Brazil. So, what about Europe? Any wars going on in Europe? It looks like the Zoro Pope is at war with Kurdistan. Or not? What's... Oh, Jacobite rebels, okay. It just looked purple from back here, but it's not. It's gray. Okay. And... looks like one of these African countries has gotten bigger. So that's what's going on. Okay, so we need to finish idealism. So let's go ahead and get started. And pretty much when you reload the game, the economy always like tries to catch up and tanks for a little bit. So I'm gonna set my tariffs back up. Now, there's been some discussion over what economic policies I've been using because of my party, and that would be interventionism. Now, if we look here, you can see we can do a bunch of stuff with our factories, and we can build railways. If we look at the laissez-faire here, we can do none of that stuff. Oh. Trading privileges questioned. It seems to me a travesty that traders long established be allowed these special and indeed unfair prerogatives with regards to reaping our common colonial harvest, paid for, I might add, with it from the national treasury. Are these benefits to be reaped solely by profiteers and first-comers? A debate in Parliament concerning the status of traders and trading in our colonies have exploded into a regular fistfight as an MP sympathetic to one of our colonial companies lunged at a vocal supporter of free trade, and the latter presented above accusations to the chamber. This is actually what I was about to talk about. This might be a good time to reconsider our colonial trading charters. We should open the colony up to free competition between any and all traders. Emrystar gets colonial exploitation until March 12th, 1851, which is 10 years. The resource gathering will go up by 40%, but pulp mills will go up by 0.05. Upper liberal house ensures free trade, gain up to 10 liberal in the upper house, or the conservative upper house ensures colonial order. I'm gonna pick this one. This is actually deals with what I was talking about. I'm gonna pause the game. Looks like my economy's recovered. That always happens when I reload the game. I'm not really sure why. I think it's just something to do with the way the economy thing works. So in laissez-faire, I cannot do anything relating to economic development. Basically, the game will just do it itself, and it's basically just something you would do if you didn't know how to do it. So theoretically, I could have put some other economic policy on the Liberal Party to make it less unattractive, I suppose. But I figured, just if I put interventionism on them, it really wouldn't be a whole lot different for the Federalists. So I decided to leave laissez-faire on them. The idea behind it, I suppose, is that you don't have to worry about it, I guess. But pretty much everybody wants to get the things that, like state capitalism, that makes it so that you can do whatever you want. I really like how you can build railways in interventionism. Now, the market, I'm not sure if the market's any smarter in the pop demand mod, but you usually don't see capitalists building things like steel factories or cement factories. You usually see them building 100,000 fertilizer factories, which were completely useless last time I played. And, you know, furniture factories and stuff like that, which are not useless, but, yeah. So we can, work with Egypt a little bit. Let's add them to our sphere. The first sphere of influence we've done. And actually the first sphere of influence in the game. I will change their flag eventually, I just haven't had time. Ooh, and it looks like York has climbed the ranks. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Look at their industry. It's even better than ours, and they only have one state. It's pretty crazy. But the state is in England, so all right. So the budget's recovered. We'll wait and see if it levels off. Anybody building new projects? Nope. Looks like that's slowed down a little bit. I may want to move my national focus a little bit. Let's go check out to see what that is. I think I was focusing basic industry in one place. And there's an easy way of... not sphere of influence. Yes, over here. This economic basic industry, and yeah, the same thing. So okay, let's encourage workers in these places now. Craftsmen. Since these places presumably already have factories, let's now focus in on their worker development. Now, debtors prison. As the 19th century dawned in Europe, the practice of jailing people who defaulted on their debts was still norm. In England, infamous examples of such institutions, debtors prisons, included London's Fleet Prison. In these institutions, debtors were not seldom expected to pay for both board and room, and sometimes even special jailers' fees to effectively pay their jailers for their upkeep. Oftentimes, these practices only served to further complicate the debtor's financial situation, as it, for natural reasons, is hard to earn money from inside a prison wall. This system was gradually abandoned in most European countries throughout the 19th century, and London's Fleet Prison was torn down in 1846. A wrongly jailed Persian aristocrat is now drawing public attention to these institutions, calling for their abolishment. Excuse me. The issue deserves consideration, and all aristocrats lose 0.5 militancy, or all capitalists gain 0.5 militancy. Or we could do the opposite. Now, we have an awful lot of aristocrats and not a lot of capitalists. So, I'm just going to do this based on my population demographics at the moment. Even though this is kind of the kind of thing I normally would pick the capitalists on I don't think I have very many of those in total. Actually, 0%. I can't even see how many I have. Right there. So 2,000. And I have 275,000 aristocrats, so I can't afford to piss them off. So, yeah. Plus, it seems like a pretty... And it's like, oh well, you know, that kind of thing is bad anyway. It just happens that the dudes are right. Sunday schools. Oh, sweet! I like that one. 10% educational efficiency. That's great. Okay, so we have some more Diplo points. We don't want to talk to them anymore. We want to talk to guys with power. So, France and Lancaster are both pretty... York's going to fall out of favor here soon. I think I want to talk to Vinland over Prussia. Prussia's got its own problems. They're not going to bother me. So let's talk to Vinland. Let's see. I'm still number 2 in military. That has to be China. Okay. Still nothing going on. Can I... do anything with Bundestan? No. I want to build a factory for them. Oh, a newspaper. Oh, snap! An international crisis. Rise of York. So Smolensk fell out of great power status, and York took their place, but that's probably going to switch. Some random shit that's not actually happening. They're fighting Flanders. Okay. Military plans. Yeah, we can't get too far behind a military attack, or we will get steamrolled. So Gallic. Or Gallic. No concern, this will be resolved in a civilized way. So this brings up the international crisis, and because we are a great power, we can take part. So what is this? Probably some nationalist thing. Ah, so they want to liberate the Russian Empire, which has never existed, but the cores are still there. So, of course, all states with core provinces from Sweden. This is complicated. We'll see if someone asks me to join. Ooh. So France is backing them, and Lancaster is backing Sweden. I'm gonna sit on the fence here. I was gonna see if both of those guys backed it. Basically, they'll go to war if this doesn't resolve itself, and they can ask each other or other people to help them. I'm gonna increase my relations with the Vikings, which apparently my dudes have gone to visit and never come back. I'm sure they're not hanging from a tree or something. Okay, so it looks like our budget has stabilized a little. Let's reduce our tariffs then. There's no reason to reduce your tariffs, honestly. I just like doing it because I think it stimulates the economy a little bit. Ooh. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. No. The game sometimes decides, no, you're definitely still holding the button. Good thing that was only for like a day or something. Okay, let's read our newspaper. War between Brunei and Sarawak. Okay. Hungarian research into introspectionism. White Russia. I don't know what's going on there. Prices rise. So Brunei is being a little bit aggressive by the looks of things. I mean, as long as all of my sliders are up, it's cool. I don't really care. I'd lower my port taxes, but that would be really crippling. So we'll just keep things the way they are. Once I'm starting to make thousands of gold a day, which might happen eventually, then, you know, how likely are we to break into the top 5? Extremely unlikely, looking at the industrial values here, which is the real hurdle. And because we're behind in tech, we can't really get the technologies first that give you lots of prestige. Stuff that didn't happen, blah blah. Okay, so this is liberalism. Cool. Everywhere in Europe, in coffee houses and universities, the ideas of liberalism, political reform, freedom of speech, and the rights of peoples rather than of monarchs are proving again the old proverb. There's no stopping an idea whose time has come. Minorities long yoked under crowns and scepters are waking up to the realization that fate is theirs to make, and from far away across oceans, the riches of Africa and Asia beckon. The dust settles on Waterloo. As the dust settles on Waterloo, Europe stands again at the beginning of a new age, the age of liberalism. I didn't change a lot of these events to more accurately reflect things because I didn't actually pay attention to what was going on in Europe all that much. So we get liberal agitation, which means we lose a little prestige over time, and this is till the end of the game. Our pop militancy goes up, pop consciousness goes up, and everybody gets a little bit more liberal, which is bad for us, for our particular political situation. The destiny of the Russian Empire. The fate of the Russian people has become a major international crisis recently. While Sweden currently controls the area, Russian rebels and patriots are making a major effort to free themselves from Swedish rule. As a great power, we of course sent an ambassador to discuss the fate of the Russian Empire. Unfortunately, he appeared at the latest summit meeting more drunk than usual and proclaimed that we are prepared to settle the issue by giving all other participants a sound thrashing if they don't follow our lead. Naturally, this has escalated the situation, although I think we can still back down by disavowing his actions, but doing so would be most embarrassing. Ooh. Let's rattle our saber, because I don't want to lose 8 prestige. Yeah. You guys do it, or my drunken ambassador will kick all your asses. Uh-oh. I'm not even doing a side, but, so it looks like York is backing France, which means France is going to be, or York will be at war with, Lancaster. So I want to wait until my Egypt, points are built up all the way, so that I can knock anybody out of consideration who's actually getting any points. Ooh. Things look a little tense there. Let's go talk to our friends over here. I don't know why I'm panning over. I just kind of wanted to see what was going on. Alright, Vinland. Well, what do you think about this whole situation? You think war is a good thing, right? Okay. I'm gonna go back over here. Bye. So, even though the Russian Empire never really existed, and that's what Smolensk and Muscovy are trying to form, I think it's fine. I left the cores there so that they could have, like, this big thing. Oh, looks like Jacobites are really taking over here. Jacobin rebels are ones that... Ooh, crop rotation. I think they will flip them to democracy. Or an HM's government or something. It'll knock them down a peg, or up a peg as far as liberalism goes. And the reactionaries do the opposite. You can get knocked from that to like a Prussian constitutionalism, from an HM government, etc. Ooh. Rebel factions. What kind of rebel factions? Suffrage movement. And Kurdish Liberation Movement. That's bad. We got Jacobin rebels. I could suppress them, but it isn't bad right now. So. And there's 224 of them. Yeah. Let's not bother them for now. I think the 200 of them can deal with themselves. Actually, they'll gain support over time. And as this gets worse and worse, we will be eventually forced to enact that reform, which is fine. That's more democratic, and that's the kind of thing I want. Okay. Of course, unfortunately, our next election isn't for a while. The blight of 1841, Phytophthora, and blah blah blah, the dreaded potato blight, struck one of our farming provinces, starving smallholders, and in some places driving whole families from their homes. The potato blight has caused a localized famine and threatens to spread. Can let them eat cake. Oh no! And they will try to leave, actually. Get potato blight till next year. Life needs go up. Our prestige goes down. Farming efficiency goes down. Popularity goes up. Consciousness goes up. And people. This is basically the Irish thing. And people will leave. What's the difference between these two? It lasts. It doesn't last as long. So we'll try to prevent them from leaving. Crisis temperature. Is this in Fahrenheit or Celsius? I'm not sure. Yes. Okay, so we have finished idealism. So the next tech I think we should get. I've been really thinking about this. We're not too far behind on army tech. I mean, we actually do have not as far behind as we are in naval tech, for example. Looking at stuff, you always want to get the basic ones because they're cheaper, but some of them, not all of them are as cheap. So introspectionism is more expensive, for example. But this is partially because of our research levels thing. So we get a bonus to army and industry tech. So I think we should focus on industry tech unless we want to switch our things. So all of these are pretty great, actually. Mechanized mining, however, will unlock steel, which is something we need for a bunch of stuff. On the other hand, experimental railroads will unlock, well, railroads. So, I think we should go for railroads, because that will increase our industrial power, and we're apparently getting steel somehow. So, because you need steel to build factories. Okay, it looks like my stuff's going pretty good. And now we're getting 11 tech points per turn, or point per day, which is great, which means our stuff will finish much quicker. Oh, since I didn't get involved in this diplomatic crisis, it means that I don't have to bother with any of this stuff. Just gotta go talk to Vinland. Okay, the orchids are our best friend. We did the idealism. Mexico is attacking Yucatan, so apparently Yucatan just broke off. Egypt. Well, that was that event. Yeah, that always happens. But that's supposed to be triggered by like the Mexican-American War, which doesn't make sense for it to happen for no reason. Okay. Our population is going up pretty good. Are we getting any immigrants here? Oh. Let's pause it a second. I want to see if I'm getting any immigrants. I don't think I probably am. Avadi, Bedouins, Bengali. What I'm looking for is Europeans, or Dutch. That's Batavian, Bourbon. These are all places that I forgot to change things in. But it doesn't really matter, they're tiny islands. Or tiny places. We already had Greeks. Yeah, all these like Indian ethnic groups, I can't really tell. Okay. Colombo, okay. Sure. Yeah, I would say there isn't. Oh, some of the Batavia. The people might be moving within the country. I'm not sure. Secret society. Ooh, look, it's 84%. Liberal causes have started to gain traction in the Persian Republic. While no one knows for sure, rumor has it the root cause of this is sudden upswing in liberal propaganda efforts is the recent foundation of a secret society, forced into hiding due to persecution of any legitimate opposition to the ruling party. It would be the Rosicrucians or the Illuminati. These society members will consider to continue to act from the shadows until the Persian Republic allows free debate in opposition in its politics. Maybe that's just what they want us to think. People become more liberal and become more in favor of secret ballots or pass an ordinance against it. We get 10 reactionaries in the upper house. Everybody that has reactionary loses 3 consciousness and becomes 10% more in favor of outlawing political parties. And wherever the majority population is conservative, will lose 1 consciousness, become 5% more. Yeah. It's only 5% more liberal. I think that's fine. I like how we actually instigated things here. Treacherous rallies. This is getting pretty bad. I don't want to kill anybody, so let's not start killing our own people before we start killing anybody else. Yeah, if they don't resolve the issue before the temperature gets to the top, then war will happen. We just dropped to number 6. Because Bavaria has been... Yeah. Because of our failure to act, our prestige is reduced by 6. Well, it's better than being reduced by 8. So y'all can have a fight. We're gonna sit over here and economically develop. Barbaric Europeans. I don't want to do that. If there's anything I want, it's not... If there's anything I don't want, it's reactionaries. At least I have a basic economic base to work with. I can actually... And see, I dropped to number 6 military-wise. Because everybody else is mobilized. That ought to tell you how powerful these guys are when... Yeah, look at Prussia and France. So who's on what side? Smolensk liberation of Crimea. Okay, so it looks like Smolensk is going to get those... Oh no. This is a different thing. So... There's a big war for Russia and this big war involving Russia. So Lancaster in Prussia against France and York. And Bavaria. Oh. That could get interesting. Okay, how many points do I have with my friendos over here? 54. And nobody's talking to them, so... We'll just keep waiting. Let's see if I can build any more good units. Not any... Well, I could build some, but one of the things I want to do before I build too many more guys is wait for guards, because I'll have to disband them. War between France and Lancaster. A number 1 and number 2 going to war is always pretty interesting. Okay. You know, actually, that might be a good place to end this session. I know it's a little bit short, but we've had some major stuff happening. And it looks like England is going to, or Lancaster is going to take over York already. Maybe. There wasn't anything that could stop them. So I guess we'll see what happens in this big war next time.